Morning Stampers! It is a sunny day where I am, which always makes me happy, but I wanted to welcome you to another week of Maker Mornings with Meg. So today's Tuesday, we were off yesterday for the holiday, and today I have a really fun project to share with you. We are going to use, I could be careful with this, the Gilded Leafing from the new catalog, a blender brush, a package of, not a whole package, I'll tell you more about that. The Dandy Garden Designer Series paper, which is the 6x6. Hi guys, morning Sandy, hi Donna, hi Kathy, hi Sue. Thanks for joining us this morning. Hey Melinda. So I'm really excited about this project. It's beautiful and it came from like my way past files. So I remembered this technique. It's the Gilded Mosaic technique from a long time ago, and I found it on a blog post. I printed it out here. Hey Sue. I printed it out here to show you this card from many, many years ago. I don't know if you remember this stamp set, but this Gilded Mosaic technique here to do this background is really, really fun. And the Gilded Leafing is absolutely perfect. So we used to do it with embossing powder and so forth. This is so much even easier. You don't even have to use your heat stick. So I'm gonna show you directions for that. And I found another example of it in my way past files. These are the Gilded Mosaic designs from a few years ago, and this is one of the technique cards, hi Petra, that I use for my monthly to-go club. So if you get card kits to go from me for ordering your $50, then you get 2 of these techniques each month. I didn't do December because there were some extra bonuses on, but you get 2 technique cards to add to your files, and you never know when you're gonna pull this out. This was like number 193 of my technique files, and they are numbered in order, and I think we're up to like 350 or close to 400 now. I've been doing them for a long time. But anyway, oldies but goodies, right? So you guys ready to get going with this? I'm gonna turn you down here so I won't be able to see your comments quite as well, but I'll give it a try. Okay, so we are upside down here, so I'll turn this around first. But we're gonna start with actually a package of the adhesive sheets. So these are an older version of them that Stampin' Up! Carried before, but we still carry these. They're 6x12 now, which is this size. And basically what you're gonna do is you're going to pull a piece of this, and depending on how big you want your piece to be, you don't necessarily have to do the whole sheet, but I'll start off with a decent size here. So, all right. So basically what this is, these are the adhesive sheets for using with your die cut machine. So you can put adhesive on the back of your die cuts and so forth. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna peel this. You wanna be really careful. This adhesive is fragile. You don't want to touch it, okay? So what I have basically is all my adhesive like flipped face up here, kind of exposed. And then I'm gonna bring in my package of paper. And if you're like me, and you've watched the DSP videos that I've shared on the organizing your DSP, you always stick the little pieces back inside the package, right? So you end up with this pack of like lots of pieces on the edge here. And what I like to do is just pull those for this project. That's what we need, okay? Just those little pieces. And to do our mosaic, what we're gonna start doing is cutting triangles, and triangles are the easiest design to fit into your mosaic. You of course can do other shapes and so forth too, but triangles are pretty cinchy. And I like to cut my strips to about 3/4 of an inch wide, somewhere between 1 inch and 3/4 an inch. And you're going to start cutting triangles. So I start from the end and just cut. And if you have like a little bit that's not quite a triangle, it's fine. And you can do big triangles, little triangles, or whatnot. And then you're just going to start, doesn't matter where, but you're gonna start putting them onto your paper. Okay, I'm gonna get some more. That one's not gonna be a triangle, but that's okay. And you can do skinny triangles, you can do long triangles, you can kind of mix it up. And then as I go, I'm just going to keep adding to my triangles. So I'm just going to build a mosaic. And this is kind of, you can do it with really big pieces. Of course, you'd wanna maybe put a bigger piece of it on your project, but what you want to avoid is seeing how they're like, I got a not straight line on my thing. So I'm just gonna stagger and leave some space in between my triangles. And I'll maybe even get some of the white side in there for some of these, okay? And you can go off the edge, that's fine. We're gonna trim it at the end, so that's not a big deal. This one has a little bit bigger pieces than I used on my other sample that I'm gonna show you. So as you're going, you can, hi Tanya, kind of think good, happy morning thoughts to yourself. It's a very zen thing to be putting these layers together. So, all right. So basically you're gonna get to a point where you have your whole paper covered, which like this, ta-da, is already done for us. So I'm gonna set that one aside. Fling, move all this away. And the next part is the really fun part. And this is where you're going to take your blending brush. And I have one that I've just dedicated for my gold leaf. I have the new gold leafing from the January to June mini catalog. And I have a Swiffer dust mop sheet. This is a really great tool to have handy anytime you open this jar, because it has this tendency to explode and you want to be able to contain it, or you'll be walking around with gold leafing all over you, and every one of your projects will have gold leafing on it. So I have some tips about that I'll share too, but I found that this actually works really well to pick up your stray bits of gold leafing. Okay, so I'm gonna open this. When you open this the first time, you'll have to unseal it. I know when Shelly and Sarah demonstrated this at our demonstrator event, they online, they put it in another container. I found that I like it to stay in this container. It's like it's like me and a workspace. I don't know if you work like this, but I like expand to fill any space available. So like if you look around my studio space here, my projects have exploded everywhere. So this is the same way. If you give it a little space, it's gonna take more. So just keep it in the tiniest space possible and it will stay the most contained. All right, I'm gonna bring in an old scrap paper here because I think we're gonna wanna toss our background. So don't forget that these, oops, see it's already leaping out. These grid papers are available in the catalog. Anybody can get these. They're not a demonstrator item. So now what I'm doing, it's like floating clouds. I'm just gently sort of scraping it off on the side of the container as I go so that it kind of cuts it off. And I have this nice pile here of the Gilded Leafing, and you want to be careful not to touch. Remember, the adhesive is fragile. If you're just jumping in, we're using the adhesive transfer sheets. And then we put some paper on, and actually my talking is spreading it around. And I'm just gonna do a real gentle brush across here because you don't want your brush to pull the adhesive off. But what that brush is gonna do is it's going to start pressing the foil, the gold leafing, into the adhesive cracks. There we go, and there's a nice big sheet. And I am just going to keep nudging it around with my blending brush. And I don't know if this is coming across really well in the video, but man, it's beautiful. Oh, see, I got my finger in the adhesive there. So if you pull off the adhesive from a spot, you're gonna end up with a gold-free zone where you've pulled that off. But honestly, in the whole scheme of things, it's not that big a deal. So just keep adding a little bit more. This jar, as far as I can tell, is endless. It's like Stregonona's pasta pot. We've talked about that before in our morning videos. And I'm going to keep brushing across here. Now, I've got this pretty well covered. So now what I'm gonna do is go back with my brush and make sure that I am, here, I'll show you up real close. So there's some places, see like where the gilded leaf is across the paper, like up here. See how it kind of is across the top of the paper? So what I wanna do is I want to use my circular motion and clean that up and press the adhesive into the background. And this also really flattens the adhesive, whoops, a little bit and gets it to stick down. You wanna be a little careful. Like when I was working over here, I managed to tease up an edge of the adhesive, so I think it's on my brush here, and I'll probably get that off a little later. But be gentle, but a little bit firm with what you want here from your blending brush. How's that for ambiguous? All right, get the gold leaf to stay, but don't peel it off. That's pretty much it. All right, so then when I pull this up, see how I have this gold leafing background? So pretty. Now, I know that our background is a little crazy with the pieces sticking out all over the place. So if you have stray gold leafing, use your Swiffer cloth here to wipe it up. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take this and set this aside so that we can work here on a gilded free zone. So I'll move this out of the way. Okay, so we're back. All right, so now I have my Gilded Mosaic background. So pretty, right? I love the gold leaf. And like I said, when we did this technique with embossing powder, I'm gonna flip this to the back side so I can see. When we did this technique with embossing powder, it also works, but I love the effect of the gold leafing. It's just a little cleaner, so. All right, now I'm going back over the edges of my sheet and just trimming them so that I have square edges. You could do lots of things with this. You could punch it, you could use it as just a background, you could die cut it to make different shapes. There's kind of no end to it. So what I'm gonna do, I have a piece that I have, well, I'll go ahead and do this one. What I'm gonna do is cut it to, I don't know, about 3.5 inches. So I think our piece here is about 2 inches by 3.5 inches. Yep, that looks good. And I'm gonna set this aside for another fun project because you better believe I'll be using that to the last bits. And then I'm gonna come back here. And now we need our card base. So I have a piece of Blackberry Bliss, which I'm just gonna clean off with our Swiffer piece. And this edge right here is going to attach like this. Now, to go with this, I have things from the Dandy Garden suite. It doesn't really want to stay there, does it? Okay, I have things from the Dandy Garden suite. So I have the Garden Wishes stamp set and the coordinating dies for this, which are kind of floating around here somewhere. I have so many layers of fun things that I was putting together this morning. But I don't know where they are. But these are the pieces that I'm going to use for this project. So some of the pieces in the garden dies coordinate with the stamps, like the one that cuts out this pretty dandelion here. And then some of them are like the bold images that are just design elements on their own. So what I'm going to do is stamp, ta-da, on a piece of Whisper White. Wasn't that quick? And die cut that here. So I have my die cut dandelion. And then I'm going to use those shape dies, and I cut from Bumblebee and from Mellow Moss some of our sort of iconic design elements. So I'm going to use these, and then I'm going to go ahead and put them starting together here. So actually on this flower, I want to bring in more of that Bumblebee, so that's why this stamp is out, and I'm going to use my Bumblebee ink pad and just sort of stamp over the center-ish of this. There we go. Okay, I'll close my ink pad. I know that makes people happier. Sorry guys, I don't mean to stress you out with my crazy ink everywhere. So our dandelion's gonna fit on here, and I really like how the white flower is nicely set off by the darker background. So the dark Blackberry Bliss cardstock really makes a difference here. And I'm going to start adhesiving things. So I have some Seal Plus here, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this down like so. And I didn't put adhesive on the edge because I actually want some of these things to kind of poke under. So I think this is going to go here, okay? Our dandelion is gonna go here, and I need some dimensionals for that. So I'm gonna pop this up. And then I'm going to kind of repeat some design elements. So I'm gonna repeat this element, I'm gonna pop it up here. And then I wanna use these dandelion leaves, and they're gonna come up down here, I think, and across here. And let's see, I gotta start gluing those two. So this guy is gonna get a dimensional because it fits on top. And then these leaves, I will go ahead and glue down flat. And I need, check this out, I finally got some new multi-purpose liquid glue. I know you guys got tired of watching me try to squish the last ounces. Ooh, holy moly. Okay, that came out really fast. I guess that's what happens when you're used to having it barely have any left, so. Okay, okay, well, there you go. Watch out because it jumps out at you. So I'm gonna pop this down here. Okay, and then I have our greeting, which I've stamped wishing you the best here. Let's see, because I get ink on everything. Oh yes, I know. I I totally feel you. And you guys have seen the last couple of days I've done a decent job of getting ink on everything too. All right, so this is gonna fit down here, our greeting, wishing you all the best. The greetings for this stamp set are really nice. Made with love for a true friend, your acts of kindness are like a breath of fresh air, and then always the simple hello. So this makes it a pretty amazingly flexible greeting set and image set. So, okay. I'm gonna pop this on here. I know that the other dragonfly set that matches the punches has gotten a lot of love, but I am making a case for this one. So, all right, and then I'm gonna put a little bit of glue. Remember, if you can see it, it's enough, unlike my last little blurb there. I want that to kind of stick out there, okay? And then we need some kind of fun embellishment for this. And so our fun embellishment is going to be the cute little bronze ladybugs that are so darling and they're jumping everywhere, are part of the suite. So I think I'm gonna put that on offset here on our little flower. And you know what, I haven't tried attaching these with glue. I've used mini glue dots mostly to date, but whoops, that is jumping everywhere and hard to hold on to. So let me grab my take your pick tool. And if you're like, whoa, how does she have everything right there? You should watch some of the original videos that I did for Maker Mornings when we were doing studio tours. So I don't know, maybe this is too much. There we go. Okay. And by too much, I meant too much weight. So, all right, he fell a little bit more centered than I wanted, but we'll leave him there because he's set. All right. So there we have our mosaic background card. So this is a really great technique to use with any of your designer series papers that you have scraps left for. Of course, if you can work the gold into your color scheme, then that is perfect because then you can get away with using the Gilded Leafing. But this technique also works pretty much exactly the same way with embossing powder. So you could use any of the embossing powder colors that we have right now. And that gives you a lot of flexibility to match different suites and different things from the catalogs. But especially for stamp sets, let's see, I don't want my ladybug to fall off. There we go. Especially for stamp sets that have this sort of great with gold color scheme, that would be perfect. Tanya says she's not sure she has it in to use the gold yet. You know what? I kind of felt the same way. It sat here for almost a month before I really even opened it because I was worried that it would explode everywhere. But so far, of the different techniques I've tried, this one has worked the smoothest for me. I think because you've got a place for the gold to go right when you open it, it's just going to go right there on the paper. The heat and stick powder works great too. If you haven't used heat and stick powder before, it's like embossing powder, but also totally different. So with embossing powder, you can really heat the heck out of that, and you can't overheat it pretty much. With heat and stick powder, you can very easily overheat it. So you want to stop heating as soon as you see it melt. As soon as it goes glossy, stop heating. Because if you overheat heat and stick powder, it loses that stickiness. So, but it works great too. I'm sure you'll be seeing some heat and stick projects from me in the next couple of whatevers for Maker Mornings with Meg. But this is our project for today. The supply link is in the video description for this, so you can click over and check out the supplies for this. They're all available in my online store. And yeah, happy Tuesday. I hope you guys had a great weekend. I hope you had some fun crafting time on your long weekend and that you have some ideas planned out. I heard lots and lots of great things that people were planning on doing kind of after the Christmas and into the new year, inspiration for 2021. So, all right, that is us for this morning, and I will see you guys tomorrow morning with another Maker Mornings with Meg project. So thanks so much for being part of our tribe here. So happy stamping, guys. Bye-bye.